Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of the Verlicity AI podcast. It is Christmas Eve. I'm Christian Worthington.
And I'm Sandra Giffen. And if you're listening to this, you might be wrapping presents, driving to see family, or maybe you're hiding in the garage, just trying to get 5 minutes of peace.
If you are, we salute you. Sandra, we have a concept for today that might seem a little theatrical for us, but after the year we've had, the sheer velocity of change, I think we need a narrative to make sense of it.
We do. We're calling this episode an AI Christmas Carol. And I know it sounds a bit lame at first, but I want you to step back, and look around. We want to frame the AI revolution through the lens of Dickens' ghosts, the past, the present, and the future.
Because in many ways, humanity is Scrooge right now. We are sitting on a hoard of wealth, in our case, intellectual and technological wealth, but we are paralyzed by a lack of vision, or perhaps a fear of what comes next.
And like Scrooge, we are being haunted. We are haunted by the nostalgia of the past, overwhelmed by the chaos of the present, and terrified of the ambiguity of the future.
So let's summon the first spirit, the ghost of Christmas past.
It's easy to forget what life was like before computers. The ghost of Christmas past takes us back to a world defined by one word: scarcity.
That's right. You need to be over the age of 50 to remember when we didn't have computers in our homes. It was a completely different reality. You have to go to a library to do research. If you wanted to talk to someone in another city, you had to pay really steep, long-distance phone charges. By the minute, if you wanted to bake a cake, you had to hope you had a physical cookbook with a decent recipe.
It was a world of friction. We talked in a recent episode about the silent burden of bad user interfaces. But the past was the ultimate bad UI. The user interface for life was physical effort.
And yet we romanticize it. We look back and say, oh, people were more connected then? But were they? Yeah, computers did wipe out a lot of industries, and social media has created a lot of social division, but life is so much better today by almost every metric.
Yes. Our lives are safer, more prosperous, and more productive than anyone could have imagined 50 years ago. Remember our episode earlier this year on grounding knowledge? In the past, you lived in a bubble that was totally private to your little group. You had to learn everything the hard way.
That's a great point. Christmas past was a time where knowledge was locked in silos. If you didn't have the knowledge, you were excluded. The ghost of Christmas past shows us a world that was quieter, yes, but it was also smaller. It was limited.
And it was filled with what we call first-order problems. How do I get to London? How do I fix this pipe? We spent 90% of our lives solving logistics. We didn't have time to worry about alignment or superintelligence because we were too busy trying to figure out how to do little tasks that seem trivial today.
We were acclimated to mediocrity. We accepted the silent burden of friction because we had no choice. The ghost of Christmas past reminds us, do not wish to go back. Just as it was for Ebenezer Scrooge, our beginnings as computerized humans have been an unqualified success. But now, we meet the ghost of Christmas present, and this ghost is manic.
We are in the great acceleration. The relentless march of technology has transformed into a sprint. This isn't just another iPhone upgrade or the latest version of Windows.
We've felt this personally, haven't we? In our episode, The Entrepreneurial AI Gap, we talked about the terror of building something for 7 months, only to have the technology shift under our feet twice. First Replit Agent 3, then Gemini 3. It was tsunami, typhoon, and meteor strike all rolled into one. 2025 has been full-on crazy.
The Ghost of Christmas Present showed us a world of exhilaration and total terror. We are overwhelmed with daily news stories that sound like science fiction. And let's be honest about what the ghost is whispering in our ears. He's whispering about obsolescence.
Yes, the Ghost of Christmas Present is pointing to the empty chair in the corner. We're routinely talking about whole professions becoming obsolete, the end of work as we know it. Pundits, who often have no clue what's coming next, throw up their arms and utter the words universal basic income, which is really just a way of saying they haven't got any better ideas. It's like adding a fudge factor to an equation just to make everything work. The ghost is telling us that our minds might be useless in comparison to superintelligent machines, and there is no answer.
This is the Scrooge part of the present. Scrooge had all the money, but no joy. We have all the information. Gemini, ChatGPT, the world's knowledge at our fingertips. But we have maximum anxiety. We are asking, was I wrong to start? Am I too old? Is it too late? We're in a collective existential crisis. After the hell we all went through with COVID, it seems like we're in an even worse pickle now.
But there is another side to the present. Look closer at what the ghost is showing us. He's showing us the gap. This is a time of rapid change, and historically change always creates opportunity.
This is the entrepreneurial AI gap we discussed in our last episode. The chaos of the present is the opportunity for tomorrow. If you stop panicking about the speed of change and look around, you'll realize your job isn't to compete with AI. Your job is to bridge the gap between AI and an increasingly confused and anxious market.
The Ghost of Christmas Present is trying to wake us up. He's showing us that we need to change our perspective and we don't have a lot of time. This is the moment that will define all of our futures. Just like Scrooge, you have a choice.
Exactly. We are currently in a state of collective paralysis. The present is messy. We will make a lot of mistakes. But inaction isn't the solution.
Humankind is transitioning from doing to directing. But that transition leads us to the final spirit, the one we fear the most.
The Ghost of Christmas Future offers us an infinite number of outcomes. He doesn't speak. He just points. And Chris, he's pointing at two very different doors.
Door number one is the ignominious future. It's the future where we, humans, meet the same fate as Ebenezer Scrooge, unmourned, stripped of dignity, and rendered irrelevant by our own invention.
We talked about this in our show regarding wish fulfillment. This is the future where we treat AI like a cake mix for everything. We let it bake the cake. We let it decorate the cake. We let it eat the cake. We succumb to the paradox of abundance. We drown in good enough content, good enough art, good enough relationships.
It's the future where we fail to be conscious data curators. We feed our grounding knowledge into the machine without protection, and it is sold back to us as manipulation. We become pets to the superintelligence, comfortable, fed, but utterly without agency.
That is a terrifying vision. It's the LLM brain rot writ large. But there is door number two. The Ghost of Christmas Future shows us another path. This is the age of alignment.
In this future, we are not the laborers. We are the architects and the gardeners. We realize that AI is a wish fulfillment machine, but we also realize that wishes need plans. In this future, we embrace the human premium.
We realized that perfection is boring. We embraced wabi-sabi, the beauty of the imperfect. We realized that while the AI can play the notes, only a human can play the live solo that breaks your heart.
In this future, we used AI to remove the sunk cost fallacy from our lives. Because the cost of experimentation dropped to zero, we became bolder, not lazier. We iterate toward perfection. but we define what perfection means.
The ghost of Christmas future is showing us that the worst outcome isn't that AI takes over the world. The worst outcome is that humans surrender their relevance out of laziness or fear. Predicting the future is impossible. But as Charles Dickens taught us, the shadows of things that may be are only shadows. They can be dispelled.
So now Scrooge wakes up. The bed curtains are not torn down. We're not dead. And most importantly, we have time.
That is the message we want you to take into this holiday season. We are not obsolete. We are just waking up. We have a new job title, whether we want it or not: Conscious Data Curator. And more than that, we are the accountability anchors.
An AI cannot feel the consequences of a bad decision. It has no skin in the game. Only you can do that. So look at the AI industry. Look at this moment in time. Appreciate it. Future generations will envy us. They will envy the fact that we were here when the clay was still wet, when the opportunities were all around us.
So, how do we avoid the ignominious future? Stop treating AI as a generic quick fix for the important things in life. Put yourself in the loop. Make your taste and good judgment the driving force. Bring your specific, messy, human context to the machine.
When we stop asking, what can AI do, and start asking, what do I want to build, we move from the practitioner who has been replaced by the machine to the architect in charge. We guide the machine through the weeds rather than expecting it to fly over them.
Scrooge's redemption wasn't that he stopped being a businessman. It was that he infused his business with humanity. He aligned his resources with his values. That is our alignment problem. It's not about aligning the AI to us. It's about aligning ourselves to the best possible outcome.
You are in the great acceleration, but you are still the driver. Don't just watch. Take charge and get ahead of this revolution.
As we wrap up this AI Christmas Carol, we want to wish all our listeners a season of peace and perhaps a little bit of introspection. Don't let the ghosts of anxiety haunt you. Treat the AI as a tool for organizational renewal, a way to clear the scar tissue of the past.
You have the power to build anything now, so please try to build something beautiful. Have good taste. Be the editor. Be the curator. Be the human.
The future is in our hands. If you enjoyed this departure from our usual format, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone who needs a little hope this Christmas.
I'm Cristian Worthington.
And I'm Sandra Giffen. From everyone at Felicity AI, let us promise, like Scrooge, to live in the past, the present, and the future, and let the spirits of all three strive within us.